The text arrived at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Derek, big news. I'm being promoted to Senior VP of Operations at TechCore Industries. Mom's throwing a celebration dinner Saturday at the Heights. Jennifer Walsh, my CEO, will be there. Don't come. You'll embarrass me in front of her. I stared at the message on my phone, sitting in my home office in Palo Alto. Through the window I could see the lights of Stanford campus in the distance. On my desk sat a Crystal Award, Forbes 30 Under 30 Enterprise Technology 2019. I typed back, congratulations on the promotion. Derek, I'm serious, Marcus. This is the biggest moment of my career. Walsh doesn't know our family has a failure. Let's keep it that way. I set the phone down and returned to the acquisition proposal on my screen. A Fortune 100 company wanted to buy my cybersecurity firm, DataShield Solutions, for $340 million. My CFO Rachel had sent the revised terms an hour ago. Rachel, they're at $340 million cash, plus earn-out provisions that could push it to $400 million. Your call, but this is a strong offer. I'd built DataShield from my Stanford dorm room 8 years ago. We now secured networks for 47 Fortune 500 companies, employed 280 people, and generated $89 million in annual revenue. Our AI-powered threat detection system had become the industry standard. Jennifer Walsh's company, TechCore Industries, was one of our largest clients. They'd been using DataShield's enterprise security platform for 3 years, paying us $4.2 million annually. But my family didn't know any of this. Growing up, Derek was the golden child. 3 years older, Stanford MBA, recruited straight into TechCore's leadership development program at 24. By 28 he was a director. Now at 31 he was being promoted to Senior VP. I was the disappointment. I dropped out of Stanford after 2 years to build my company. Mom cried for a week. Dad refused to speak to me for 6 months. Derek told everyone I'd thrown my life away for some tech fantasy. You're not Steve Jobs, Marcus, he'd said at Thanksgiving 2016. You're just another dropout who's going to fail. At family dinners they asked Derek about his corner office, his stock options, his meetings with Jennifer Walsh. They asked me when I'd get a real job. I stopped attending most family events in 2019. It was easier than explaining that I was too busy running board meetings, closing contracts, or flying to DC to brief congressional committees on cybersecurity threats. My chosen family became my team. Rachel, my CFO, who'd left Deloitte to join me when we were just 12 people in a WeWork. James, my CTO, who'd been my roommate at Stanford and co-founded DataShield with me. Lisa, our VP of Sales, who'd helped us land our first Fortune 500 client. They knew what I'd built. They knew what it meant. But Jennifer Walsh knew too. She'd been one of our early champions, pushing TechCore's board to sign with DataShield when we were still a startup. We'd had coffee together quarterly for 3 years, discussing security strategy and industry trends. She'd written a recommendation that helped us secure a $50 million Series C funding round. Your brother works for you? She'd asked once, seeing Derek Chin on TechCore's employee list during a security audit. He doesn't know I own the company, I'd said. We're not close. She'd raised an eyebrow but didn't push. Jennifer Walsh hadn't built a $12 billion company by not understanding complicated family dynamics. On Wednesday Mom called. Derek told me about his promotion, she said. We're so proud. He's going to be the youngest Senior VP in TechCore's history. That's great, Mom. Jennifer Walsh will be at the dinner. Can you imagine? The CEO of a Fortune 500 company at our family event. Derek's made it, Marcus. He really has. I'm happy for him. We're not inviting you, she continued. Derek was very clear. He can't have you there looking unsuccessful in front of his CEO. You understand. I understand. Maybe if you'd stayed in school. If you'd gotten a real job instead of chasing pipe dreams. I let her talk. I'd heard it all before. After she hung up, Rachel messaged me. Rachel, board meeting moved to Friday. Also, Walsh's office confirmed she's attending TechCore's leadership event Saturday. Should I mention you'll be in the same city? Marcus, no need. Thursday brought more family texts. Aunt Linda, family group chat. So excited for Derek's celebration. A Senior VP at 31. And meeting Jennifer Walsh. Uncle Robert, Derek's going places. Real corporate success. Cousin Amy, Unlike some people who dropped out and disappeared. Derek, thanks everyone. This is what happens when you commit to excellence and don't take shortcuts. I muted the chat and returned to work. We were closing a $8.9 million contract with a pharmaceutical company, negotiating security protocols for their research data. Friday's board meeting ran long. We discussed the acquisition offer, international expansion, and Q4 projections. When we finished, Rachel pulled me aside. You're really not going to tell your family? Why would I? Because they're cruel to you. Because they think you're a failure. Because walking into that dinner would. Would what? Prove something? I don't need their validation, Rachel. I have a company that works. A team that believes in what we do. That's enough. She studied my face. Is it? I didn't answer. Saturday arrived. The dinner was scheduled for 7 p.m. at the Heights, an exclusive restaurant in San Francisco's financial district. Private dining room, carefully curated guest list. My family's chance to impress Jennifer Walsh. I spent the afternoon in my Palo Alto office reviewing contracts. At 6:15 p.m. my phone rang. Jennifer Walsh. Marcus, I'm so sorry. I just realized your brother's promotion dinner is tonight. I had no idea you were his brother when I accepted the invitation. It's fine, Jennifer. Congratulations to Derek. Will you be there? I wasn't invited. Silence. Marcus. It's complicated. Family stuff. Don't worry about it. I'm worrying about it. This feels wrong. Jennifer, Derek's worked hard for this promotion. He deserves to celebrate. Just, maybe don't mention Data Shield. You're protecting him. I'm avoiding drama. She sighed. You're a better person than I am. But Marcus? I'm not going to lie if asked directly. Your company is too important and you've earned the recognition. After we hung up, I sat staring at my computer screen. Then I called James. Want to grab dinner tonight? Can't, man. Actually heading to TechCore's thing. Walsh invited the whole leadership team since we're their security vendor. Wait, isn't that your brother's promotion? Yeah. Oh shit. Does he know you own Data Shield? No. This is going to be spectacular. I'm bringing popcorn. At 6:45 p.m., I was still working when Rachel appeared in my office doorway. I laid out your suit. The navy one. And I booked you a car. Rachel. You're going. I've worked for you for 6 years, Marcus. I've watched your family treat you like garbage while you built something incredible. You're going to that dinner. I don't need to prove anything. This isn't about proving anything. It's about not letting them erase you. You exist. What you've built exists. Stop hiding. 20 minutes later, I was in the back of an Uber wearing my navy suit and feeling absurd. I texted Jennifer. Marcus, I might stop by after all. If that's okay. Jennifer, more than okay. I'll save you a seat. The Heights occupied the top floor of a glass tower overlooking the bay. I arrived at 7:23 p.m. Through the windows of the private dining room I could see my family. Mom in her best dress. Dad looking proud. Derek at the head of the table gesturing animatedly. And Jennifer Walsh listening politely, wine glass in hand. I stood in the hallway watching. I could still leave. I could go home, finish reviewing the acquisition terms, pretend this dinner wasn't happening. My phone buzzed. James, with photo of the dining room, your brother just told Jennifer Walsh about his vision for corporate success. She's trying not to laugh. Get in here. I walked to the entrance. The maitre d' checked his list. Name. Marcus Chen. I'm Derek Chen's brother. He frowned. I'm sorry, sir. You're not on the list. I know. But Jennifer Walsh invited me. He glanced toward the dining room, uncertain. Before he could respond, Jennifer appeared in the doorway. She must have seen me from her seat. Marcus. You made it. She crossed the hall and hugged me. Come in, please. The maitre d' stepped aside. As we entered the private dining room, conversations died. Mom's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. Dad's eyes widened. Derek, mid-sentence in some story, went silent. Everyone, Jennifer said warmly, I hope you don't mind, but I invited Marcus to join us. He's an old friend. Derek found his voice first. Marcus? What are you doing here? I told you not to come. Jennifer invited me, I said quietly. Jennifer doesn't. Derek turned to his CO. I'm sorry, Ms. Walsh. My brother wasn't on the list for a reason. He's not really part of the corporate world. I didn't want him to feel out of place. Derek, Jennifer interrupted gently. Marcus and I have known each other for years. You what? Mom stood up. I'm so sorry, Ms. Walsh. Marcus should have explained that he wasn't invited. He dropped out of Stanford years ago. He doesn't understand professional environments. I stayed silent, watching Jennifer's expression shift from polite to something colder. He dropped out of Stanford? Jennifer repeated. To chase some tech startup fantasy, Dad added. Never amounted to anything. We're embarrassed, honestly. Derek's the successful one. That's why we didn't want Marcus here tonight. I see, Jennifer said. Marcus, why don't you sit here? She gestured to an empty seat beside her at the head of the table, directly across from Derek. Jennifer, really, Derek said. You don't need to be polite. Marcus can leave. This is my promotion dinner. Oh, I'm not being polite. Jennifer's voice had an edge now. Marcus, please sit down. I sat. The room felt frozen. Aunt Linda leaned toward Mom, whispering just loud enough to hear. Why is the CEO being so nice to him? This is awkward. Derek tried to recover. So Ms. Walsh, as I was saying about TechCore's Q4 strategy. Actually, Derek, I'm curious about something. Jennifer turned to me. Marcus, how's DataShield doing? I haven't had a chance to ask. The room went silent. DataShield. Mom asked. What's that? Marcus's company, Jennifer said casually. DataShield Solutions. We've been using their cybersecurity platform for 3 years. They're one of our most critical vendors. Derek's face went pale. Marcus's company? You didn't know? Jennifer looked genuinely surprised. DataShield is one of the premier cybersecurity firms in the country. They secure networks for 47 Fortune 500 companies, including TechCore. That's impossible, Derek said. Marcus doesn't have a company. He's a dropout who built a $340 million enterprise from his Stanford dorm room, Jennifer finished. Marcus, you don't talk about your work much, do you? I met her eyes. Not with family. $340 million? Dad's voice cracked. That's the current acquisition offer according to TechCrunch, Jennifer continued. Though I told Marcus he should hold out for more. DataShield's AI threat detection system is revolutionary. We pay them $4.2 million annually and it's worth every penny. Mom's wine glass slipped from her fingers, splashing red across the white tablecloth. Derek stared at me. You own a security company? I do. The one that we use at TechCore? Yes. For 3 years. Yes. His face cycled through emotions, confusion, disbelief, horror. We've been paying you millions? TechCore has been paying my company millions for security services, I corrected. Yes. Aunt Linda spoke up. But you dropped out. You disappeared. You don't even have a degree. I don't need a degree, I said quietly. I have 280 employees, 9 patents and enterprise contracts with nearly 50 Fortune 500 companies. Why didn't you tell us? Mom demanded. You never asked. You decided I was a failure. I didn't see the point in correcting you. Jennifer leaned forward. To be clear, everyone, Marcus isn't just successful. He's one of the most influential people in cybersecurity. He's briefed congressional committees. The FBI uses DataShield's protocols. When there's a major security breach, Marcus's team gets called first. Derek's face had gone from pale to bright red. You let me. All these years I've been talking about my career while I built a company, I finished. Yes. But you look so normal. Cousin Amy blurted. You dress like a regular person. I am a regular person who happens to run a tech company, I said. Marcus prefers to stay under the radar, Jennifer added. Which I respect. But tonight, Derek made it clear Marcus wasn't successful enough to attend his promotion dinner. I thought everyone should know exactly who they've been excluding. The room went dead silent. Uncle Robert cleared his throat. Marcus, we had no idea. If you'd just told us. Why would I asked. Every time we talked you asked when I'd get a real job. When I'd stop embarrassing the family. Why would I share something important with people who'd already decided I was worthless? We didn't decide you were worthless, Mom protested. We were concerned. You dropped out of Stanford to build something that now employs 280 people and secures data for millions of users. But you didn't ask about that. You asked when I'd give up my pipe dream. Derek's hands were shaking. I told Jennifer Walsh my brother was a failure. You did, I confirmed. I told my CEO, the CEO of a company that pays your company millions, that you were an embarrassment. You did. Oh my God. He put his head in his hands. Oh my God. Jennifer's expression was unreadable. Derek, you're being promoted to Senior VP of Operations. Part of that role is vendor management and strategic partnerships. DataShield is one of our top 5 critical vendors. Did you really not know who owned the company? No. The contracts just say DataShield Solutions. Kyo Marcus Chin. I didn't connect. Our last name is Chin, I said. It's not that uncommon. But you never said anything. You let me think. I let you think what you chose to think, I interrupted. I never lied. I just didn't correct your assumptions. Dad found his voice. Marcus, this is a lot to take in. Why didn't you tell us about your success? Because it wasn't about you, I said simply. I built DataShield because I saw a problem that needed solving. I hired people who believed in the mission. We did the work. That was enough. But family should know. Family should support each other, I cut in. Family shouldn't tell someone they're an embarrassment. Family shouldn't uninvite someone from celebrations because they might look unsuccessful. You made it clear I wasn't welcome unless I met your definition of success. So I stopped trying. Jennifer stood up. I think I'm going to step outside for a moment. This seems like a family conversation. Marcus, walk with me. We left the dining room. In the hallway she turned to me. That was brutal. I didn't mean for you to. You didn't do anything. They did this to themselves. She paused. For what it's worth, you handled that with more grace than I would have. I'd have brought printouts of your Forbes profile and thrown them on the table. I laughed despite myself. That's why you're a CEO and I prefer staying behind the scenes. You're a CEO too, Marcus. A damn good one. Don't let them make you forget that. When we returned to the dining room 10 minutes later, the energy had completely changed. My family sat in stunned silence. Derek was staring at his phone, apparently having Googled me. His face was ashen. Forbes 30 under 30, he read aloud. Congressional testimony on cyber threats. 9 patents. $89 million in annual revenue. He looked up at me. This is all real? Yes. You've been this successful for years and you never said anything? Would you have believed me? Or would you have found a way to diminish it? He didn't answer. Mom tried a different approach. Marcus, sweetheart, we're your family. We should be celebrating your success together. Why don't you tell us about your company? Because 3 hours ago you told me I wasn't welcome at this dinner. Because I'm tired of performing for people who've already decided who I am. But we didn't know. You didn't ask. That's the point. I stood up. Jennifer, thank you for inviting me. Derek, congratulations on your promotion. You've worked hard for it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I turned to leave. Marcus, wait, Derek said. I owe you an apology. A massive one. I've been horrible to you. For years. Yes, you have. I thought I was the successful one. I thought I'd made it and you'd failed. I was wrong. You weren't wrong about your success, I said. You are successful. Senior VP at 31 is impressive. You just didn't need to stand on my neck to reach it. His eyes filled with tears. Can we talk? Really talk? Not now, but soon. I considered. Maybe. But Derek, I'm not going to try to convince you I'm worth knowing. Either you figure that out or you don't. I'm done auditing for family approval. Jennifer walked me out. At the elevator, she said, for the record, TechCore's contract with DataShield comes up for renewal in March. I remember. I'm recommending we extend it and increase the scope. Your work is too valuable to lose. Thank you. But Marcus, your brother is going to be managing vendor relations in his new role. That includes your company. I know. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with whatever happens. If Derek can be professional, we'll work together. If he can't, I have 46 other Fortune 500 clients. She smiled. That's exactly why your company succeeds. You don't need any single client. You built something that stands on its own merit. The elevator doors opened. As I stepped in, Jennifer called out, "Marcus? You should be proud. Not just of the company, of how you handled tonight." The next morning, I woke to 47 missed calls and 83 text messages. "Mom, Marcus, please call me. We need to talk about this." "Dad, I had no idea. We should have asked more questions." "Aunt Linda, I always knew you were special. So proud of you." "Derek, I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. Can we please talk?" "Derek, I've been awake all night thinking about everything I said to you over the years. Derek, you were in my apartment 2 Christmases ago and I told you to get a real job. You own a $340 million company. I'm mortified. Derek, please respond. I know I don't deserve it, but please." I ignored most of them, but I responded to Derek. "Marcus, I'm not ready to talk yet, but I appreciate the apology. Congratulations again on your promotion." "Derek, can I ask you something? Why did you let me work at TechCore all these years without telling me you were our vendor?" "Marcus, I didn't let you do anything. You got hired on your own merit. You earned your promotion. My company happened to be one you worked with. That's all." "Derek, but I could have, if I'd known I could have." "Marcus, could have what? Been nicer to me? That's exactly why I didn't tell you. I didn't want to be treated well because I was useful. I wanted to be treated well because I'm your brother." "Derek, I understand. I'm sorry." Rachel called at noon. "The entire tech industry is talking about what happened last night. How does everyone know?" James posted a vague Instagram story about the most epic family dinner in tech history. People connected the dots. "You're trending on Twitter. #DataShieldTho is everywhere." "Great. Marcus, this is actually good PR. Everyone's talking about how humble you are, how you built success without bragging about it. Forbes wants to do a profile. TechCrunch wants an interview." "No. Marcus. I didn't go to that dinner to make a statement. I went because you pushed me and then Jennifer invited me. I don't need publicity. But the company could benefit. The company benefits from doing excellent work. That's enough." She sighed. "You're impossible. I'm consistent." On Monday, I returned to the office. Work continued. We finalized the pharmaceutical contract, reviewed Q4 projections and started discussions about the acquisition offer. At 3 p.m. my assistant buzzed. "Derek Chin is here to see you." "What?" "Your brother. He's in the lobby. Says he needs 5 minutes." I hesitated. Then, "Send him up." Derek entered my office looking like he hadn't slept in days. His suit was wrinkled, his tie loose. He stared around the space. The floor-to-ceiling windows, the Stanford engineering degree on the wall despite my dropout status. I'd finished it online in 2020, the awards and patents displayed on shelves. "This is your office?" "Yes. It's bigger than mine." "Derek. I'm not here to compete," he said quickly. "I'm here to apologize. Really apologize. Not just for Saturday but for everything. For 10 years of treating you like you were less than me. For assuming I knew better because I stayed in traditional corporate structure. For telling you to get a real job when you were building something incredible." I leaned back in my chair. "Okay. I talked to Jennifer this morning. She told me DataShield could have taken their business to any of our competitors, but you've kept TechCore as a client because we have a good working relationship. She said you've never once used your position as our vendor to make me uncomfortable or to reveal our connection. You just did good work and let me succeed on my own." "That's true." "Why?" "Because you deserve to succeed on your own merits. Your promotion is real, Derek. You earned it. I didn't want to take that from you." His eyes welled up. "I told you to stay home because you'd embarrass me. I told our family you were a failure. I spent a decade punching down at someone who was secretly more successful than I'll ever be, and you still protected my career." "I didn't do it for you," I said. "I did it because I'm not interested in revenge or one-upmanship. I built something I'm proud of. That was always the goal." He sat down without being invited. "Can I ask you something? When did you stop caring what we thought?" "Around 2018. I just closed a $30 million Series B funding round. Forbes interviewed me. I was flying to DC to brief senators on cybersecurity threats. And I came home for Thanksgiving and Dad asked if I'd finally given up on the computer stuff and considered law school. I shrugged. That's when I realized you weren't ever going to see me. You were going to see your idea of me no matter what I accomplished. So you just let us think you were a failure? I stopped trying to convince you otherwise. There's a difference. Derek was quiet for a long moment. I want to do better. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I want to try. Can we start over? I don't know if we can start over, I said honestly. Too much has happened. But maybe we can start fresh. If you're willing to see me as I actually am, not as who you assumed I was. I am. I swear I am. Then we can try. He stood up relieved. At the door he paused. Marcus, for what it's worth, I'm genuinely impressed by what you've built. Not just the money or the success, but the mission. Data Shield matters. It protects people. That's bigger than anything I'm doing. You're helping run a company that employs 15,000 people, I said. That matters too. We don't need to compete, Derek. There's room for both of us to be successful. After he left, Rachel appeared in my doorway. How'd it go? He apologized. We're going to try to rebuild. Are you okay? I thought about it. Yeah, think I am. Saturday was brutal, but it also freed me from something. I don't owe them my success story anymore. I don't owe them proof. They either believe in me or they don't, but it doesn't change what I've built. That's very healthy and mature, Rachel said. Now can we please accept some of these interview requests? The marketing team is dying. Fine. One interview. Pick the least annoying publication. He grinned. I'll do my best. 3 months later, TechCore renewed their DataShield contract with a 40% increase in scope. Derek managed the relationship professionally. We had coffee once a month, slowly rebuilding something that resembled a sibling relationship. Mom and Dad tried to overcompensate, telling everyone about our son the CO. I tolerated it but kept them at arm's length. Trust, once broken, doesn't heal overnight. The Forbes profile ran in March. The headline read, "The cybersecurity CEO who built a $340 million company while his family thought he was a failure." Jennifer Walsh texted me when it published. Jennifer, excellent article. Though they could have mentioned you're also humble, kind, and one of the most decent people in tech. Marcus, that wouldn't fit the narrative. Jennifer, true. Hey, are you coming to TechCore's Leadership Summit in June? I'm keynoting. Would love to have you as a guest. Marcus, will Derek be there? Jennifer, yes. But Marcus? He's not the same person who told you to stay home. People can grow. Marcus, I'll think about it. Jennifer, that's all I ask. I did attend the summit. I sat in the front row while Derek presented on operational excellence. He was good at his job. He'd earned his success. Afterward, he found me in the lobby. Thanks for coming. You did well up there. I kept thinking about what you said. About how there's room for both of us to be successful. I'm trying to remember that. Good. We stood there awkwardly for a moment. Then Derek said, I told some of my team about you. About Data Shield. About what you've built. Not to brag or claim reflected glory, just to, acknowledge that my brother is someone worth knowing. Thank you. Want to grab dinner? Not a family thing. Just us. I'll buy, since apparently I work for a company that pays your company millions. I laughed. Sure. Why not? As we walked out of the hotel, Derek said, Can I ask you something? Do you ever regret dropping out of Stanford? Taking the harder path? No, I said. I built exactly what I wanted to build. I did it my way with people I trusted. I have zero regrets. Even about us. About the family stuff. I regret that it took 10 years and a public confrontation for you to see me. But I don't regret protecting myself. I don't regret building something that didn't require your validation to exist. That's fair. We walked in silence for a bit. Then Derek said, I'm genuinely proud of you. I should have said that years ago. I'm saying it now. I appreciate that. Do you think we'll be okay? Eventually. I think we're figuring it out, I said. That's enough for now. And it was.